Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. Today, I am bringing you back to an oldie but a goodie, and something that right now, in the midst of a global pandemic, is more important than ever. I am seeing so much overthinking going on, and it's completely understandable, but it is causing so much more anxiety, stress, and fear than is necessary, and really stopping people in their tracks. You know, all their time is spent perusing and wasted, looking at different news feeds and things, and overthinking all the potentials rather than focusing on where you are right now. You have so much more control over your own situation than you give yourself credit for, and getting yourself into a loop of overthinking is not going to help. We need to try and shift it from overthinking into simplifying, simplified critical thinking, going outside of the box. So if you're in one of these loops right now, I 100% feel you. This used to rule my life. When we lost everything 6 years ago, I remember it very, very vividly. It almost makes you feel like you're actually being productive in some way to overthink. You think you're protecting yourself and trying to prepare for every potential outcome. But the reality is a little bit of surrender is what's needed. So we all want to know what's coming around the corner, but we can't right now. No one has the answer except you. You can only do what you can do. And it's time that we drop the rest, and shift how we're thinking. Shift the focus to the areas that are actually going to be so much more helpful for you in the long run. So I really hope that replaying this episode helps. And please do DM me if you want to take advantage of my power hours. DM me with any questions that you've got, or anything that's worrying you, and keep an eye on my stories. It's I'm Fran Excel, because I'm keeping you updated all the time. So lots of love. Hope you enjoy it. Hope it helps. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, I am Fran Excel Mindset Coach, and I'm helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can finally get out of your own way, do the things you want to do, and actually live a life that you really love. Who doesn't want that? So today we're going to be talking about overthinking, which is a huge problem. I see it time and time again, especially in the entrepreneurial space. There are a lot of people who are constantly overthinking or worrying, whatever you want to call it. So today I'm going to give you some of my top tips to help you stop with that. There's a couple of coaching questions that I used as an ex-overthinker. These really, really help. They're really practical. So I'll get stuck in. So overthinking is obviously such a huge source of unease, discomfort in your daily life. So it can affect your sleep, it can cause anxiety, it can cause depression, and pretty much always results in unhappiness, right? So it can also cause you to miss opportunities, stop you going after your dreams, and generally keep you stuck exactly where you are. It just makes life feel that much harder. A great thing to remember when trying to stop overthinking or worrying is that your thoughts really do shape your reality, and where your focus goes, energy flows. I know you hear it time again, and often it's said in quite a woo sense, but genuinely it's science. The way you think really does shape how you go about your daily life. So you bring more of what you focus on into your life. So you need to be focusing as much as possible on the good stuff. So Can you think of a time where you've wasted a huge amount of time and energy overthinking something that might happen that never actually did? Can you think of a time like that? I can think of many, many times like that. So all worrying tends to be either focusing on things that have happened in the past, or that you can't do anything about anymore, or things that might happen in the future. So you can see how important it is to try and keep thinking in the now. So as I always say, awareness is the number one key to changing any behavior. So when you're catching yourself in that negative, overthinking mindset, try a few of these to start help shifting your focus. So identify what actually causes you to overthink. Is it certain people that you're around? Is it certain situations that you're in? Is it circumstances? Identify what those triggers are and try and do less of it, or limit your time surrounded by it. Genuinely, that it's quite often when you can analyze who you're spending your time with, actually a lot of those people can cause us to overthink. They can cause us to have self-doubt, comparisonitis, all these different things that come up for us that are actually around people that we spend time with. So you need to start trying to limit your time with those people, or approach those people differently so they can't make you feel that way. So that's number one. Identify what your triggers are and try and do less of it, or limit your time surrounded by it. So these couple of questions are my absolute favorite thing, and this is what really turned it around for me. So always ask yourself, who is it helping to think this way? Who is it harming to think this way? And the last question is, can I control this? If the answer is no, please stop wasting your precious time. Genuinely, you get one life. Don't waste it worrying about something that you can't do anything about or hasn't even happened. There's no point. There really is no point. So can you control it? If you can't control it, there really is no point worrying about it at all. So find an anchor thought or a little happy place in your mind. Again, it sounds a little bit woo, but the brain doesn't distinguish between reality and a dream or a visualization or anything along these lines. This is why you'll see a lot of top performers practice visualizations. A huge amount of top athletes practice visualization, because your body and your brain behave physiologically as if the same thing is happening. So it's something really important. It's sort of defluffing that woo-woo for you on visualization and why it's so important. You'll often see Olympic sportsmen and things like that. They say, how did you do it? They're like, well, I just visualized myself winning. I just practiced every single day in my head. I knew I was going to win. So that's another one. So think of a memory when you were really happy and you felt completely carefree. So close your eyes and actually take yourself back there in your mind. Feel how it felt to be there. See what you saw, smell what you smelled. Really try and be back in that moment. And if you really can't think of one, create your own. So there's a book by Shakti Gawain called Creative Visualization. And if you can deal with pink bubbles, it's actually an amazing book, because a lot of it makes so much sense. There is a little bit woo, but it's an amazing book. So definitely get that. But you can create your own sort of happy place in your head. So is there a place that you know you feel calm and happy? Do you like being on the beach or by water? Is it a tropical island, a meadow in springtime? Whatever it may be for you, that is your happy place, that makes you feel calm and collected. Genuinely, when you start overthinking, take a little moment, a couple of minutes. That's all you need is a couple of minutes to really just breathe deeply and imagine yourself back in that moment, and it will really help you, because you need to calm down your amygdala. You need to calm down that fear response which happens when you're overthinking, because what it does is it releases cortisol and adrenaline into your body, which is really bad for health in the long term. But regardless, it sort of, raises your heart rate and your blood pressure. It's not good for you at all. You're stressed, and we all know what stress does. Stress accounts for 90% of all doctor visits every day. So you need to be thinking about this. If you're going to overthink anything, overthink how to not be stressed. So remember that fear is just false evidence appearing real. Genuinely, It's as simple as that. It's false evidence appearing real. You feel like it's already happened. Just as I was saying with the visualization, it really does feel as if you're in the moment and that thing has already happened. You know, when you play over in your head a conversation that you've got to have with someone, and you feel your blood start to boil, or say you're having an argument with somebody and you're playing it over in your head, you really start to feel as if that moment is already happening. Or you start to cry because your emotions have got so heightened, because you're really putting yourself in that situation physiologically, whether you're actually there or not. So it's really, really important to try and stop doing that. So the next one is distract yourself. This is an obvious one, but one that so often gets overlooked. What do you know makes you feel better? Sometimes allow yourself a little Netflix. Why not? But going for a run, listening to happy songs, reading a book, whatever might distract you from that thing that you're overthinking, do it. Just do it. Whenever you feel that, you have permission to do these things that you think maybe you're wasting time or whatever. You need to shift that focus, and that's a great way to do it. Why not spend it doing something that you love? So next one, journal. This doesn't have to be a Dear Diary kind of thing. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, it's all about focusing on that positive. So when you really start to overthink and worry about stuff, write down 3 good things that have happened to you today and 3 things that you're grateful for. You may find it helpful to free flow the thoughts you're having, just so you can get them out of your head and onto paper, because when you're doing that free flow, you really do allow yourself to sort of talk it through in your own head. It's actually amazing. I don't do it that often, but when I do it, you really do, you start at the beginning and you're ranting and you're irate, and then by the time you get to the end, you've talked yourself through. Because with journaling, you're waking up the right side of the brain, which is the creative side of the brain, which is the problem solving side of the brain. So genuinely, when people are talking about journaling and things like that, it is waking up the right side of your brain to be able to deal with your problem. So think about that next time that you think, I hate writing. Even if it's voice noting into your phone, if you hate writing and that's not your thing, that's still a form of journaling. You can just rant into your phone, and I promise by the time you've finished it and you've got all those thoughts out of your head and into the ether, you will start to feel so much better. So one of my favorites is also ask yourself, will this matter in a year? Will this matter in a month? Will it matter in a week? Will it matter tomorrow? Will it matter 3 hours from now? And the answer is normally no. One of my favorite phrases is tomorrow's chip paper. So if you're not from the UK, we used to get fish and chips in proper newspaper. And the whole idea is like, whatever today's news is tomorrow's chip paper. And I love that analogy, because it really does make you think, hang on, okay, yeah, this feels big now, this feels real now. Is it going to matter tomorrow? Probably not. Okay, so practice mindfulness is another one. So like I was saying with your visualization, that is a form of mindfulness, but you can also just practice being in the now. So it's all about being where you are. So look around you, take in the sights, sounds, smells, anything. Try a mindful breathing technique, or take a moment to literally just really, really look at what's around you. What can you hear? How does the ground feel under your feet? Just give it a go, because it sounds like it's, again, all these things sound like they're so woo-woo, but they're so not. They are all based in science. So I want you to, if ever you've listened to these tips and gone, ooh, rolled your eyes, please just listen and give them a go, because what have you got to lose at the end of the day? So that's my next one. And the last one is visualize a positive outcome. So we're back to the visualization, but this one's slightly different. So like I was saying, when you can get stuck in your head and you can start the emotions building up and things like that, this is a really good technique where actually you stop yourself thinking about the negative stuff that you assume is going to happen, and actually visualize a positive outcome. So have that conversation in your head, but actually make it, change the ending. You have the power to do that. And then when you change the ending, you'll calm down your brain, you'll calm down your nervous system, and you'll be able to then approach a situation with a much better mindset, with a much calmer mindset. So just remember that a lot of this stuff just goes on in your brain. And as Mel Robbins always likes to say, you're not a worrier, you have a habit of worrying, and we can break habits.
we know that we can break habits. It's a really big thing. And I used to think that it was genuinely part of who I was, that I would overthink everything. I'd drive myself crazy. I would genuinely work myself up when nothing had even happened. And then it wasn't until I realized how much time I was wasting, hurting myself and only myself, that I managed to find ways to shift around. So this stuff really does work. It's just a case of retraining your brain. You can retrain your brain to do literally anything you want it to do. So please believe that and bear that in mind when you are getting frustrated with yourself and saying, oh, gotta worry about everything. There's always the way. I can't help it. It's just who I am. It's not who you are. It's a habit you have. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I will see you again next week. And until then, bye-bye.
Watching. If you like this, please hit subscribe and come join me in Fran Excel community on Facebook. Bye. So, if you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.